everybody, and welcome to week 2 of Ignite Imaginations and Sheffield Library's Summer of Creativity. I hope you all had a great time with Jordana last week creating your spooky creatures. Don't forget that you can get a Children's University credit for these workshops if you have a passport. For more information you can email us at inquiries@igniteimaginations.org.uk. Now, this week we're going to be exploring making some stories with our artist Helen. She's going to show you how to create some story stones. Have you read any interesting stories lately? Sheffield Libraries have loads of great books that are available online, and there will be a list at the end of this video of ones that you can read. So let's see what stories Helen's got in store for us today.
I'm Helen Moyes, an artist with Ignite Imaginations. Today we're going to create story stones. So what are story stones? Well, they are pebbles or flat stones with pictures on, and these can be used to prompt you in creating your own stories, or indeed you could put pictures on them from a well-known story and you could then retell that story, act it out using the pebbles. So here are some examples that I've done before. So we've got a dinosaur here, an alien, a bear, a pony and a ship, and a couple of monsters. We need to go and collect some pebbles or stones, or you can buy them. We need to wash them and make sure they're dry before we start decorating them. And there's lots of different ways that you can use to decorate your stones. You can paint them, you can use decoupage. I'll be showing you what that means in a minute, and you can draw on them with pens. So let's look at the first way first, which is perhaps the easiest, which is the drawing. So I'm going to choose, I think, this flat stone here, and what I really want is to do a castle. So I'm going to draw that out. You do need to have the best thing is to use permanent pens, and there's lots of different ones that you can get. So for this one I'm going to do my outline. I like doing black outlines for nearly everything, so I'm going to just start with my turret. And I think one thing is to not to think that things have to be too perfect. And then I'm going to come across here. I'm going to do a doorway. I might want to just put a bit of markings on that to make it look like a wooden doorway. Come across, I'm going to start with a turret, I think, up here. A tower. Come down. I think that needs some windows in it. Castles tend to have their windows quite high up. So I think I want to just add in a flag. Okay. So I think we need a bit of colour in that. So what should we do? I think I'll do a brown. This, and I think the door would look better being brown. Okay, and I think I want to add a bit of brightness for that flag, and I think a bit of grass on the bottom. And I want to do a bit of a path up to this. So you can make it as simple or add to, but if you're in doubt, I'd wait and have a little look at your picture and think, do I want to add any more, and think about it. because it's harder to take away or cover something up than it is to add something more to that. So that's my castle, and that's just using the pens. And incidentally, if you have one that you don't like, I did this one and I really don't like it, so you can just paint over it. And black is a really good for a base actually for some of them. So or you might be able to find a black pebble. So I think this one was a piece of coal, and it's been washed up on the beach, having been nicely smoothed for us by the sea. But this one, I'm not happy with what I've done, so I'm actually just going to paint over it. But this shows you how you could change the colour of your pebble. So if, for example, you wanted it to be darker or lighter, so do that. And it's best with painting to paint one side and then let it dry. And really for story stones you only need one surface decorated anyway, but if you did want to paint the other side, then just let that paint dry and then come back and do the other side. A base that I've got that I did earlier, and as well, if you think about the shape of your pebbles, if you have a little look at them, you'll probably find that it'll look one way better. So I thought a pig would be good for this one, and again just put some pink on the background, and then I'm going to do some eyes and a big snout. Snouts aren't exactly circular, so that's fine that it doesn't. And I'm going to put a little mouth, make it a funny pig, put some nostrils, and then I'm just going to put the idea of the ears in there. So this is drawing on top of a painted background. Let me just put another ear in there. So you'll see that pebble I just left plain on the back, but you could paint it pink as well if you wanted. So here's my, there we go, so that needs to dry. And just to really add in, I'm going to get my white paint and just dot it inside there, and that will just make those look much more like eyes. Okay, so that's my pig. So I've got a castle and a pig, so this could be an interesting story. So an example here is the monster, where I've done white eyes with the paint, and then I've put black round with the pen and a black dot in the middle of the eye for that. So again, I've left as well, I've drawn the mouth, and I've used the colour of the pebble for the inside of the mouth and just drawn on some teeth for that monster there. Let me show you what decoupage is then now. So that's where you use a picture, so in this case a pony that I cut out. That was one I printed out. So you can get pictures from all sorts of places. You can print out, you can use thin fabric, so this fabric's got a nice flower on it. This one has got a blue fish on that I'm cut out. So I'm going to get a few things cut out, or you can tear. So this is some wrapping paper that I saved, and this I really like the robin on this one, so I'm going to just tear around that rather than trying to cut around, because the background's quite nice as well, and I can blend that onto the stone. So I've got that one ready. Perhaps just tear that bit off. I'll cut this fish out, and on this fabric the fish has got some bubbles coming out of it, so I'm only going to cut the first one bubble, so it would be too difficult to try and cut all those round, and then you can add on some more bubbles if you want with paint. So you can intermix your decoration and use pen and paint, fabric and paint, That's that. And the flower from this one. So the robin, I think that's going to go on this grey one. So put some glue on. So as you see, it goes quite cloudy and a bit wrinkly, but that's fine. It will. You can just smooth it down either with a sponge or with your fingers. So paper napkins can be great for this as well. You just have to take any background plies off the layers of it. So you just need the top surface of paper napkin and then cut out some of the pictures or shapes from that. So that's the robin done. I haven't got a big enough pebble at the moment. I have to find another one for this one. That's the fish. So while it's still wet, you can move your fabric or your paper a bit, just on this one. I'll just finish putting the glue on this one, particularly the edges, and make sure they're all sealed. You can add another coat if you need to. So the final way is to use a stencil. So I've got a few stencils here of trees. And also this one came in a children's magazine, and they're really good sources of pictures as well. Really like the moon in that one there. If you want to, you could add a little bit of tape to hold the stencil in place. So I think for my moon, some silver, but mix a little bit of green in. And then lift it off, and then if you need to, just neaten any of the edges. And you might want to put a smiley face on your moon. So I've got a star one, so I could add the star in and do a star as well. You can make your own stencils by cutting paper, but look out for ones in, especially the ones for your wanted magazines. There. That's my moon. If you get really into decorating your stones and pebbles, you might want to just do more abstract design. And these make lovely presents as paperweights for friends and family. Once they're all dry, and it's a really good idea to leave them for at least a day to really properly dry and harden, then you can start using them to create your story. You might want to create little habitats for any of the creatures that you have. So for example, you might find some other stones and soil, for example, and make a little cave for my monster to live in, or perhaps it will be a bear. You can make up your own stories, and the stones can help you to do that, because you can keep looking at your stones and they can help you come up with what might be next in your story. But also you might want to reenact some of your favourite stories as well. One of my favourite stories is we're going on a bear hunt, and so for example I might use this for the bear. You might also, with that, if you're familiar with that story, it's got squelchy mud and squishy grass, so you might want to paint on some mud and grass. But sometimes pebbles themselves will indicate things that they've got designs on. So this one, I'll show you that one there. That one to me looks a bit like a wood, could be a dark forest, but it certainly looks like bare tree branches to me. And this one I think really looks like the sea, so I could either leave it as it is, or I could paint on some extra waves onto that. So thank you for watching. I hope you have fun creating your own stories. There are some recommended stories from Sheffield libraries at the end of this video, so do get involved with the summer reading challenge from there. Join Ignite Imaginations next week when Charlie will be taking you on a treasure hunt. Bye bye.